What do you think about the housing situation in general?
I think it might come down the next little bit, but it's expensive. I wish there was more that we could do for young people. It's really hard to get in. You can't get in if you don't have help from bank, family, whatever. It's very difficult, yeah.
I understand like the background and history why this has been happening, and I think it's good for the people that already have a house and because for they had been a really good investment. But for new people, and considering Canada, especially Vancouver and cities like Toronto are kind of new cities and a lot of people is just arriving, it's just not possible if you just arrive and they have like those prices. I think it's very difficult for some people at the beginning because also not just the rent, also food and everything is really more expensive than in other places. I don't see that this could end soon, so that's why I'm not planning to live here the rest of my life. It's not that good for new people. The prices, for example, in Coquitlam and Port Moody are not as far as they are in Vancouver. They say Vancouver is really more expensive, but even around, the areas around are expensive too now.
It's terrible. For anyone who's younger, there's no way to get in. My wife and I recently, through an inheritance, we thought we might be able to get into the market, but there's just no way.
I think prices are very high. I cannot buy it. I didn't save anything. I live good style. I make decent money, but I don't think I am able to buy.
The price from like 5 or 6 months ago when we came here, it's going up.
It's too expensive. I know if I want to work and study simultaneously, I can't afford my study tuition fees and my housing costs because it's so expensive.
What do you think are underlying causes of housing prices?
Government tax increase, fuel increases. Fuel is really a major cause of things because fuel impacts your cost of goods to anything retail, groceries, furniture, because once the fuel prices go up, your cost of goods goes up, your retail goes up because they want to make their margins.
It's a supply and demand issue, obviously. Back in 1986, we invited the world to come to Canada, and they did, and I'm not upset that they did, believe me. We have this area, especially Vancouver, is so blessed with all the different cultural influences and the things that people brought with them when they came to Canada. But we didn't prepare for the impact of that many people coming in as quickly as they did.
Just the world in general. All the stuff that's going on is just increasing the price of everything.
What are some suggestions or changes you would like to see from the government or local organizations to address these challenges effectively?
The government could reduce the price of fuel, because I know they have barrels of fuel they can release to the market, and they have done it in years. That would drop fuel prices, that would put more money in people's pockets. One time, the Conservative government gave everybody a $500 check, so that increased the economy as well. And if they could get a hand on the mortgages, everybody's mortgages, once the interest rates went up, like our mortgage rate went up, we pay another $100 a week more than we paid before once the interest rates went up. And that's affecting everybody. So if they could get a control on that, that would increase and help better sustain the economy.
There are some projects right now that there are like new buildings with apartments with cheaper rentals, but they are like really small. I don't think that's a good solution. I have heard that in other countries the things that they are doing is like start those new areas, but with like a price control. I will say that will be a better solution. Maybe some people would not like it, but I guess in new areas, for example, if you are going to Whistler, there are new areas growing. Those ones should be cheaper because they are like not as close to Vancouver. But I will say the story will repeat again in the new areas. So just with those new areas, try to control the prices. But right now it's not just in Canada, like the whole world is getting into a really big inflation.
Putting restrictions on foreign investment in a lot of Vancouver places is going to help. Trying to make affordable housing, I know it's difficult, but doing high rises, that kind of stuff is going to help. Maybe discounts for students, or I know they just came out with an FHSA account that you can use, but small things like that are going to continue to help. I'm not sure exactly what, but those are kind of just broad suggestions that I can offer.
I think I've hinted on it. I'm not satisfied with the current federal government. I don't think they're doing anything that'll help reduce prices. I think their policies they have in place are only going to exacerbate the problem. The U.S. is heading in the same direction, and even worse, I mean, if they default, there's going to be an echo in the markets that takes place because of that. We got rough seas in the next 5 years at least.
Do you have a solution?
Well, drill, baby, drill, as Donald Trump said. Now, not that I'm supporting him or saying anything against him or for him. It's just, but that's the reality. Unless we do things that make meaningful cuts to inflation, it's just going to continue to grow.
Are there any solutions to the housing crisis that you think should be explored?
I know there's a lot of vacant homes that people are just buying, maybe to limit certain people to being able to own an amount of homes without people actually living in them. There's not a ton you can do. It's just a nice place to live, and that's the cost of living here.
Everyone wants to live here.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you think is responsible for all those problems?
Government. I mean, that who controls it all. And it's not my opinion, that's a fact. We can't do it as people. We're all working 40 hours a week. The government has the opportunity to fix the problem, and they're not doing it.
Like, you're talking about the current Liberal government or in general?
Every government that's been in power, because they've never fixed it.